Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the GQ Jedi. If you're not already subscribed to me, blast the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. I completed the original Kenner line of action figures quite some time ago, but there's some scenes in my displays that I wanted to fill out, and I decided to go down the Stan Solo route, save a few dollars, and get beautiful action figures that are minty that blend in seamlessly with the Kenner collection. So let's see what I got. Alright guys, today's a very exciting day for me because today I get to finish some Jabba the Hutt scenes. There's a couple holes in my displays, and as I've mentioned before in earlier videos, I do have the entire original run of Kenner action figures, but these last 17s, they're expensive. The original Kenner OG action figures are very expensive nowadays, and since how these are for displays, I'm trying to save a little money right now. I mean, eventually I'll probably track down the OG figures. I think it'll probably happen at some point, but I've kind of went down the rabbit hole with Stan Solo in a good way because, like many of you out there, he makes amazing figures, and a lot of people are just simply filling in holes in their collections with the stuff that he makes instead of spending hundreds of dollars on action figures. So I have already started the process, so I might as well keep going. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you haven't seen my earlier video, but I recently picked up a yak face and a pop-up R2, and also I got a Han and Stormtrooper outfit, and I really needed the yak face and the pop-up R2 for my scenes, and I figured, you know what, let's keep going. Let's just get these in my collection. Let's get these in my displays, save some money, and get quality action figures. These things are the next best thing to Kenner, and so I figured, you know what, let's do this. Let's make it happen. This is so awesome. So excited to finally add her to my display. I say her because the designation is EV99, Eve. Eve is a female. I don't think that's an accident. Just like this beautiful action figure made by Stan Solo is no accident. Look how gorgeous she is. Absolutely perfect. This is a hard figure to get in the original line in general. Something that's always prone to happen is the limbs break off. These legs are, bow in together, and it's just a very, very fragile figure. Not to mention the mouth mechanism here, which goes up and down, which, as you guys can see, there's a little lever right here. Sometimes this doesn't work on the original figures after it's been shuffled around for decades. But yeah, Eve's a hard figure to track down. I know it was one of the last near one of the last ones that I found in my collection for my original run. And yeah, she's pretty pricey these days, and Stan Solo makes a gorgeous version of it, and I just had to pick her up, man. I had to pick her up. My dungeon is feeling a little lonely, and right there is the SS. Right there, you guys can see the SS, the Stan Solo stamp of approval. But I mean, if somebody were just to show this to me, I'd be like, yeah, that's original Kenner right there. Absolutely beautiful. I'm just quiet, guys. I'm marveling at just the quality of this. This looks like it came straight from the factories. Back in the 80s. This is just crazy. The detail is all there. Man, she's beautiful. I'm super excited to add her to my like I said, she's going to go in my Jabba's dungeon. My Jabba's dungeon, it's got other figures in it, but she runs the show. I mean, she's the boss down there, so I have to add her. And like I said, I have one for the run, but I don't take figures that I have in my run, I leave in the run. I don't take them out and put them in displays at all. I know some collectors only have you know, one version of every figure and they smatter it throughout their collection into their displays. I like to have 2 of every one. Sometimes I've got 3 or 4, depending. Like Vader, I've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 Vaders. You know, I got 6 or 7 Boba Fett's, you know, handfuls of Farm Boy Luke. But these last 17s, not so. It's just not so. They're too dang pricey. And so Eve is one of those I only have 1 of. And so, like I said, thank you, Stan Solo, for filling in my display gaps, brother. Simply an amazing piece. This is awesome. Like, and I don't have to feel so like, woo, you know, weird about this figure. Like, heaven forbid should it break, but I didn't just drop $350 on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dropped a fraction of that on this figure. Stan Solo figures are affordable, and you can absolutely, you know, fill in your displays or complete your line if that's what you're into. If you're not going for the whole set, you know, you can easily get 1 of every one of them. He doesn't make all the last 17s, but he makes quite a few of them. And the last 17s are usually figures like this that people struggle to track down, or at least track down for a good price. So yes, I'm very jazzed to add Eve to my my dungeon. She's beautiful. It's just a trip, man. I'm just quiet at times because it's like transporting me back to the 80s. I mean, here she is. This is a complete carbon copy, save for the SS. This is a carbon copy of what Kenner did. I mean, it's like the exact mold. It's a beautiful thing. Ugh, absolutely gorgeous figure. I cannot wait to put her in with the rest of my stuff. Yeah, she needs to, you know, get in the dungeon and start bossing some droids around, start wreaking havoc. She was a nasty little bitch, wasn't she? You just hated her from the get-go, you know? I know I always, you know, was just like, oof, you know, when I saw her pop up and you hear that, you know, that metallic voice that she had, man, she just wasn't playing, man. She absolutely was not playing, and you knew it. And of course, there are foot peg holes in the bottoms of these feet, so you can plop your figure down on a base, a stand. You know, the play sets have some pegs in them, so she'll have no problem standing. I remember with the original one, again, she's kind of wobbly. She takes some patience to get standing, and if your legs are a little bent in, that's just how she comes a lot of times, and there's really, you know, nothing you can do about it. So it is a bummer, but just got to be patient and, you know, buy a stand if you need to. But at least these have, you know, the holes in the feet, like I was saying. So either version now is going to be able to go in that play set, and this is the version I'm going to use. So I'm super excited, guys. I'm super excited. I've always admired the construction of this figure because she's very tall, but also very fragile, and there's a lot of detail on her. She's one of the few figures that has a tremendous amount of detail, and I do admire what Kenner has done, and Stan Solo has paid an awesome tribute to the Kenner legacy by creating this figure. So very, 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 very happy. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, you had to pick up a Han and Carbonite. There's another one. I got my original one some time ago. I was able to get it from a local seller, and I got it with the card back, the coin. It had literally fallen off the card, and he just had it loose, but he gave me everything. But that stays in the run, and so I always wanted one for my skiff, and now I've got one. Can finally add Han, old buddy, to the skiff. This is the meathead jock version of Han. I mean, if you guys have seen my Han Solo video where I do a rundown of all the Han Solo action figures that Kenner made, I make fun of this guy. I mean, look at that neck. I don't know what Kenner was thinking with this guy. I mean, look at him. He looks like an absolute meathead, a football player of some sort. Not the biggest biceps, but I mean, that chest and that thick old neck of his. Just insane. Just insane. See if I can get that light a little better for you guys. Just absolutely, he's a meathead. I mean, a lot of people talk smack about this Han, and I agree. I get it. I absolutely get it. I don't know why Kenner decided to. This reminds me of the 90s Power of the Force 2 Han Solo and Luke, when Luke looked like freaking He-Man, you know, busting out of that tunic with a, you know, put some chest hairs on him. I mean, that guy was Luke Swallow. I mean, Han Swallow and you know, Luke Steroid Walker. I don't know. I can't think of anything funny for that. But I mean, Luke was just so juiced. I remember walking through Toys R Us and seeing him on the shelves and just being like, holy God, what the hell did they do to my boy Luke? And Han looks like a barroom brawler. And so that's what this guy reminds me of. A throwback to the 90s, even though this guy came first. So the 90s was throwing it back to this guy right here. That's the reality of it. The Power of the Force 2 line was throwing it back to Han, old buddy, this guy. But just so awesome to get this figure. And again, with the Stan Solo SS right there on the legs, so you always know that this is not a Kenner, so no one can be fooled. And I do have to bring this to attention, because again, I know some people watch these videos that I make about Stan Solo and they get their panties in a twist. I'm like, you guys, relax. These customs are here to stay, man. You can't stop it. You can't stop change. And I'm super stoked that Stan Solo is around, because the guy makes amazing figures, and he really does bro out a lot of us in the community with his creations, and he makes it apparent. Everything's transparent with Stan Solo. I do dig that, man. I've said it before. He doesn't have to stamp these figures. He could just stamp them, you know, 1985 LFL if he wanted to, but he doesn't do that. So good on you, mate. I'll always sing your praises. I do appreciate that. And you know what? It's just a beautiful thing to be able to get another last 17 this easily, in mint condition, might I add. No paint rubs, no rubs. Han is kind of prone to getting paint rubs on his head. Right here usually is missing some paint, or at the very top. This baby's cherry pie. And let's look at this Carbonite block. This is no cheap item either. I mean, this guy right here, not brand new, because none of them are brand new, but like if you were to buy this in, on Facebook, somewhere, online that someone's selling it original, it's like $300 right here, original, 300 plus maybe. And I'm super stoked to get this block in such cherry condition, no scratches. It's just absolutely perfect condition. Little bit of cardboard dust there, whatever that was. But this is awesome. And of course, the play feature on this was, sticking Han in here, so you could kind of pretend that he was literally hanging in the frozen Carbonite block. I mean, it's kind of cool of Kenner to do that. What I might do though is I might hang this up somewhere and put Han on my skiff, so this whole thing can potentially pull double duty. Super cool, man. Super cool. Absolutely stoked about this. Like I said, this is a hard one to get as well. It's last 17, Power of the Force, and to get one in cherry condition, I couldn't say no. I absolutely could not say no. And the thing about these, I want to say something else to you guys. When it comes to these Stan Solo figures, you got to get them. If you're thinking about it, don't, because they're not going to last forever. Stan Solo is not a factory, in and to himself. He has factories make these for him, but he doesn't own a factory. He doesn't own a gigantic warehouse. He is not Hasbro. He doesn't make thousands upon thousands of these and they just sit on a shelf somewhere in a warehouse. He makes a certain amount of them, and tries to gauge how many orders he needs, and he'll exceed that order amount, and he'll have a certain amount, and then once they're gone, they're gone. And so you gotta snatch these up while you can. I will leave a link in the description down below for his site where you can order them. And if for whatever reason they're no longer available when you see this video, I'm sorry, my apologies. Like I said, these things go quickly. People, Stan Solo is not new. Like, it's not like he just came out this year. Like, a lot of people know about him and that are hip into the scene of collecting. So when you see something on a site for sale, don't think about it, grab it, because next time you go to that website, it might be gone, and it may say sold out, and then it's gone. I know some people have commented, oh, it's sold out, like the Bantha or the the astromech droids, or why does he do that? Ask him why he does that, why he doesn't keep making them. But I'm literally telling you, I believe it's because he doesn't have a warehouse, he doesn't have the space. These things are special runs, so don't sleep on it. And please don't complain to me about why this stuff is sold out. I don't make the figures. I have nothing to do with the production or the distribution of these action figures. I'm merely showing you guys, reviewing them, and waxing on about my love for them. So, please don't complain to me about if something's sold out. I don't really want to hear it, man. I really don't. It's not my fault, and it's not his fault. It's like anything. Kenner eventually stopped putting these out on the shelves, and then they were sold out, and then that was the end of it. Everything has a finite timeline, Hasbro might be the exception. I don't really know. I don't follow their stuff. I don't collect their stuff. I don't care what Hasbro does, but I'm sure even their products are a finite line, and then once they're gone, and then you have to go on eBay and pay a stupid amount of money to get them. So, like I tell you with Kenner, get it while the getting's good before it's gone. So just get it. And last but not least, I had to pick up this Luke and Stormtrooper outfit. I don't know if you guys saw the last Stan Solo unboxing. I managed to get the Han Solo, and that was I got lucky. They just happened to find one in a box randomly, and I was able to get one online. And after seeing that one, there was no way in heck I wasn't going to get our boy Luke here. Not a chance. Couldn't leave Han hanging by himself to take on the Stormtroopers on the Death Star all by himself. No way. Not a chance. And this is another one. This is another one that's hard to get cherry. This Luke is always prone to head, paint rubs on the head right here. Always. It's like a thing. And then, of course, the suit, the Stormtrooper outfit will yellow. That happens a lot. And of course, you can follow my peroxide method. I've done a video called "Aren't You a Little Yellow for a Stormtrooper?" and I show off a method on how to de-yellow your figures. But I wouldn't want to do that personally to a Last 17 figure. If it was original, I would want to leave it alone. That's something goes wrong and you somehow ruined it, which I've never really ruined a figure. But if something were to happen to it, I would be bummed. So I'd want to keep it in OG condition. But with something like this, I never have to worry about it. I mean, this thing's not going to go yellow for years, if it ever goes yellow. It's just an awesome thing to have a cherry Luke and Stormtrooper outfit. So jazzed to get this one, and just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm actually looking for the SS on this one, and I actually do not see it, which is interesting, but also not really a big deal. This is weird. I'm gonna have to ask Chris about this, or John perhaps. As you guys may not know, John works with Chris here in the States. Chris is in the UK and John is in the States, and John helps out, and John's the one that actually shipped all these to me. Thank you, brother. You shipped these things light speed, so I do appreciate the quickness with you getting these to me. But I don't see an SS on our boy Luke here, and it, honestly, again, for the repro cops out there, it doesn't really matter because it would say, doesn't really matter because it would say 1985, LFL. So either way, no coup is still makes it, still legitimizes that it's a Stan Solo custom. And here we got the helmet and Put the old helmet on like so. You've got to kind of do it from the side and then turn. Bink. Oh man, this is awesome. Of course, got the blaster, which this blaster is also easy to tell it's not legit Kenner's because it doesn't have as much flex. This one in particular doesn't have as much flex. This is really like stiff. And this looks to be a true, let's see here, just for light purpose. Well, jeez, I got a glove. Let's see here. This looks to be a true black Stormtrooper Luke. There's a big debate about it, whether he came packaged with a blue-black Imperial Blaster or a solid black. A lot of people say he was only packaged with a solid black. Some folks say it was blue-black. Some folks say it was both. Personally, I don't really care. And in this case, because this is a custom stand solo, it makes no difference to me especially. But this looks to be black. But like I was saying, this particular blaster is kind of thick. I mean, not thick in diameter, but like it's pretty stiff. The normal blasters have a little bit of a flex to them, just a tiny bit. This has very little flex. So I can tell immediately that this is not real. So anyone else that's, freaking out, oh, look at that Stormtrooper blaster. Well, I got news for you kids. If you know anything about Star Wars toys, you know that this isn't real because you can tell. If you ever held a legit Stormtrooper blaster, you're going to know the difference. And that's on you guys to do your homework. If you're going to get into this expensive hobby, it's on you to figure out what's what. There's no excuses for not knowing what you're collecting. It's like baseball cards, it's like anything, any hobby. Invest in the time, educate yourself. Don't complain and whine because you can't tell the difference about something because you're too lazy to look it up. And I do mean that. I'm not trying to be, a jerk about this, but I mean, I didn't know spit when I got into this. I really didn't. I had to educate myself. It took a lot of time. And I still don't know everything, guys. I still don't know everything. I'm telling you what I do know, but there's stuff that I have to ask other experts, Go on the Facebook the forums, the groups, ask questions, post up figures. I'll do that when I see something I want to buy. I'll post up a photo and be like, hey, is this legit? And like before I buy it, if I'm uncertain, join the groups, guys. They're there for a reason, to educate and keep the community educated, so to speak. So take your time, invest in the hobby, do your homework. If you're that worried about reproduction, and I totally get it, invest in the hobby and learn, learn, use the Force, Luke. So yeah, this is beautiful, man. I'm super jazzed to add Luke here to the situation, to my Death Star. And again, this is one of those figures where I literally don't think he's going to last long. I don't think there's going to be too many more of him floating around on Stand Solo site. And I'm sure maybe after this video they'll eventually then go sold out because of this video, because I'm saying that. I don't know, but like, this is one I was like, you know what, he's probably gonna go. Like, he's been up for a while. This Luke has been around for a minute now, and I had to get him. So anyway, guys, this is a beautiful day for me to get all three of these figures. And sometimes I will say the blaster doesn't always hold well in Luke's hand. Sometimes even on the OG. So oops. So sometimes I've like stuck it under his arm like this in my display. I just kind of stick it under there however I can. But regardless, patience you must have. Yes. You got to have some patience to with these figures, whether it's trying to get them to stand or whether it's trying to pose them or get a blaster in their hand. But this is beautiful. Super stoked to add all of these guys. This is, like I say, it's like Christmas. It's a beautiful thing. I'm so happy right now, guys. I'm able to complete my displays, my Death Star, my Jabba's Dungeon, my skiff. Just amazing. And as I was saying before, guys, I will put a link in the description down below to Stan Solo's site. pick up your last 17 figures or any other figure that you see on that site that you're thinking about getting. Grab it. I mean, this is quality stuff. I really do, you know, appreciate the availability of such things. It's a beautiful thing. Guys, we've seen them out of the box. Now let's go put them in my displays so we can see where they're going to look the best. Let's do it. And here we have my OG Kenner EV99. We have my OG Kenner Han Solo and Carbonite block. And of course we have my OG Luke and Stormtrooper outfit. So I do have them all. This is my run. I don't like to move figures out of the run for scenes. I keep all of these figures in the run as a collection. And here is Luke Stormtrooper with Han. The pair, the dynamic duo, are reunited again. As you can see, they look great together. Matching suits, matching helmets. These are both Stan Solo creations. Absolutely super stoked to have both of these guys finally on the Death Star together. Just awesome. Just awesome. Thank you again, Stan Solo, for making this dream come true. This scene in Return of the Jedi is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, and I'm super jazzed to add Han Solo to the skiff with Chewie and Luke. Thank you, Han Solo, for participating in this skiff battle. Thanks to Stan Solo. Very cool. Very cool. He looks beautiful on the skiff. Save some money by getting this figure. Like I said, I do have all the OG ones, but I like to fill displays and save some money and potentially use that money towards more Stan Solo custom figures that he makes, because he makes a slew of cool figures like this Boba Fett. That's a Stan Solo custom. And Stan's got a bunch of figures coming out the pipe soon enough that I will be showing off in future videos, so stay tuned for those. Now my scene is complete. I've put the Han in Carbonite block on a suction cup with a hook, and I hung it behind Jabba the Hutt and the Stan Solo Princess Leia in slave outfit, which is a gorgeous figure. The suction cup and the hook, highly recommend that. It's a nifty little trick I figured out, and I'm just jazzed to finally be able to complete this display scene to my liking. And of course I also have the Stan Solo pop-up R2 and Yak Face, which I featured in another video. Just gorgeous. All these figures that Stan Solo makes fit in with the Kenner line seamlessly. I'm like a broken record, but I speak the truth, and the proof is in the pudding, as you guys can see. Perfection. And last but not least, I finally have EV99 running shop down here in the bowels of Jabba's dungeon, making sure things run accordingly. Of course, 88 is there, and there's a custom C-3PO painted droid by Steven. I featured some of Steven's work in earlier videos. So that droid sits there waiting to be tortured, and just a great scene, a great setup. Of course, EV99 came with this original dungeon, but I found this playset with the box without any of these extra figures, so I've been trying to fill this hole without using any of my actual figures from the collection. And thanks to Stan Solo, I can now do that because EV99 is here where she needs to be. Gorgeous figure, gorgeous figure. Appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give the like button a thumbs up to support the channel. And if you've not already done so, blast that subscribe button and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. And remember, collect or collect not, there is no try.